Hello everyone. In today's video, I will discuss use imperative handle hook with an example of form validation. If your child component contains a function and you are thinking about how to trigger this function from parent component, this video is for you. So keep watching till the end. Make sure to subscribe and press the bell icon so you won't miss out on future updates. Let's get started.
React uses unidirectional data flow, which means data passes from parent to child component through props and state. This is called declarative method, but sometimes you might have to break this rule when your program requires more fine grained control. Let's say you have a child component input that contains a validation function validate input. You want to allow the parent component to check validation on email imperatively. Let's see how we can use imperative handle in this input child component. Use imperative handle works in combination with the ref and forward ref. Make sure you are familiar with these concepts. I explained ref in my other video. I will link down below in description box. Let's first import forward ref from React and wrap this input component with forward ref. Open parenthesis and at the end close parenthesis. Forward ref accepts two arguments. First is props, which are receiving from the parent component, and the second is ref. Now I will call useRef hook to create a reference to this input element. Inside the functional component, declare const email ref, call useRef with null value. Now pass the props inside this input with the value in email ref. By using useRef in this component here, we can detach this input element from parent component. Next, import useImperativeHandle and call it inside component. By declaring useImperativeHandle in your child component, you can choose which specific function or native property should be accessible from outside. UseImperativeHandle accepts two arguments. The first is ref, which gets from forward ref, and second is function that return an object with a group of all properties or methods. Now let's expose this validate input function to the parent component. I will give function name validate and pass validate input as a function reference. It ensures that the parent component can call the validate function of the input component imperatively. This will trigger this validate input function here. Now let's build this validate input function. This function is responsible for validating the input value. I will get the email value. So in const entered email with email ref current value. This line here can get the value of this input field. Now I will check if entered email doesn't contain add symbol using includes method, and also I will use the not operator, and this statement is true. I will set the error here with the message please enter valid email address. I'm rendering the error value the input field. In parent component subscription form, I have function handle submit form. This function is called when the form is submitted. It prevents the default form submission behavior and rendering the form with input component and button. Let's import useRef inside this component and call useRef inside the functional component. Declare input ref, call useRef null. Now I will connect this use ref to input component. Under the hood, you could say this ref prop here refer to this object of the useImperativeHandle hook. Means it helps to call this validate function from the parent component. So here in this functional submit form, first I will use check if input ref exists, and then pass this validate function input ref parent validate. This validate function is this. It creates a custom interface between child and parent component, allowing for direct interaction. Now I'm just saving it, and in the browser, if I type MAH and submit the form, you will see it render the message here. Please enter valid email address, and if I type add and submit this, and here inside this VS Code, if I pass else statement and set this error to null, save it, and now if I submit the form, the message disappears. That's how we use imperative handle to expose a handle with only the methods that you want the parent component to call. Let's use another example. After the comma, I will declare another function name select, and here I will pass ref email ref parent and select method, which is a DOM method. It will select the text of the DOM node. Inside the parent component, I can call this select method as well. So here input ref parent and call select. Now if I save it, click this button, and here we are. It select the text inside this input field. As in official doc mention, if the parent component gets ref to input component, it will be able to call the validate and select method on it. That's it. I hope you understand the concept of useImperativeHandle hook and how it works under the hood. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and share, and follow me on Instagram. I will see you in the next one.